Hello, everyone. My name is Andreas Diaz. Wow, I don't know why I say my name. You know my name, Andreas Diaz. Today, me and my co-host Will are here today to do another Marvel Plus talk. And this topic today or this week is one that I don't think many people will care or will care if you like the Marvel universe. This is a Fantastic Four 60th anniversary talk. Will, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. As we talked before the recording,
Yeah.
very good news for me, and then very good news for you as well.
hmm
Um, and I guess from like to get the ball rolling, what was your first exposure to the FF?
Yeah. I guess it would be the movies that came out um, in the early 2000s when we were
Mm,
kids. Um, Although I also know them from there's a local newspaper that used to include the early issues of the Amazing Spider-Man as inserts.
oh,
So there's that one issue with um, like Spider-Man breaking into the Baxter building. I think Doc Ock is involved. Um, so that was my first introduction to them in a comic book form. But then the movies were my the first time I saw them somewhere.
mm, okay.
Yeah. What
Um,
about you?
so from my exposure to the Fantastic Four has to be in the cartoons,
Mm.
in the '90s and of course their crossover to Spider-Man, the 90s show.
hmm
Those are like my early days of seeing the FF in form. And yeah, around the mid 2000s, I seen the first two live action Fantastic Four films by Fox, and I saw both of them in theaters, and I mean, they were enjoyable, fun popcorn movies. Nothing more,
hmm
nothing less. And so those are my exposure to the FF. And I guess um, I I will ask you, like, were they your favorite superhero team in like either the whole comic universe or in the Marvel universe? Like were they ever your favorite? Um,
They've never been my favorite, but
mm,
I have always liked them. Um,
yeah, same here.
yeah.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Yeah.
Uh, um, I I think uh, like it, it, it's kind of interesting because I like the concept of them. I like the explorers idea. Like
hmm
they remind me of Fantastic Forage, that very classic '60 movie. Uh, no pun intended, folks. Fantastic Forage. And reminds me a lot like Twilight Zone, especially with the
hmm
negative zone. Um, and I just like the idea of family. Like that's another thing I like about the FF. That like
hmm
they're like this like ragtag family, and each one represents the different family members. Of course, Reed Richards is the father, Sue is the mother, and then the Thing and Johnny Storm are kind of like both brothers, but also uncles or you know nephew kind of vibes to them.
hmm
And I think that's is really interesting, and like having this family wrap around into this sci-fi, you know, like action uh, oriented storytelling. That's very unique at the time, and I will say that that's maybe one of the things that's very disappointing in all the live action films. The three ones from Fox, I feel like.
hmm
Uh, and I feel like that's something that I think has been kind of um, misrepresented in their uh, medium, unfortunately. Uh, so that's so to speak. And I guess you were gonna say something.
just that I agree that the like family dynamic and like the heart of what makes the Fantastic Four has been missing from the Fox movies.
Oh my god, it's banned in Fantastic.
Yeah, I never saw Four Stick
Oh,
because I knew it was going to be bad and I didn't want to go through that.
that's that,
Um,
that's what I did. It was during my final year as a CSS camper, and
mhm.
one of my friends asked if I wanted to go, and I said no. Like I knew it was going to be bad. Oh my
Yeah,
god, yeah. It's going to be interesting talking to towards the end of this podcast because I would say you save yourself from a lot of bad
yeah. No, I
things.
remember hearing things about it. So
Um, but when we talk about that, I will say it it had potential to be a good film, but
mhm.
it just got bogged out by just really awful studio, and also just wrong director. But whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I have a question. Who's your favorite character in the FF? Um,
I hmm. I feel like my gut reaction was to say Johnny Storm,
oh,
just
okay.
because he's like the fun, cool one. But now that I'm like pausing to think about it, I think Ben Grimm is the most interesting character.
Yes, I agree.
So I think I'm gonna go with the Thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So
because
he's your favorite as well.
yeah, but I want to pick someone else. I guess I do like Mr. Fantastic.
Mm,
I always loved the powers of stretching, and
yeah, that's cool.
yeah, and I think
Cool.
one of my early memories of the movies, I always how you say I always dug his white stream in his hair.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
always thought that was a cool thing, and it was that behind Robert Downey Jr.'s goatee that I want to have when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, and just the idea of Mr. Fantastic being this hugely like intelligent person, like very like what was the word? He's kind of like he's very like a high level 10 like intellectual person,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
not like Tony Stark where he's like very good at mechanics and technology. Reed is just super smart, and
Right.
that's very cool. I always liked that about him. Um, I guess uh, the fifth, the flip flop that my least favorite character is always Susan Storm. I don't know if you have that opinion as well. Um,
Um. Yeah, I guess she's usually like reduced to some trope, which is unfortunate. I feel like she has the potential to be more interesting.
yeah, I
But
like it's weird. Like she has I don't know, like uh, like it's kind of interesting because out of the four members of the FF, like Invisible Woman is like the most powerful of them,
mm-hmm.
and then I never like, but like at the same time, she's like the most tropey and like the most stereotypical like character out of all of them, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there should be more room. Um, and I will get into this. Like my another problem is, you know, um, despite like live action has helped other characters, when you have a film franchise that hasn't been as successful as another, they don't give enough time or development of these characters from the comics that you want to see. Like a good example that is Superman. And particularly Lois Lane. I like her military background, and you see this in the comics, the cartoons, and the TV show. And Superman Lois, which is airing right now, and they're gonna have their last two episodes for the first season. Um, we see her, military background with her father, and that's always something I like from that character, and that's something we don't see in the live action films at all. And like for Susan Storm, I always like and Johnny Storm as well, her brother, with their family background, like their father, and I think there was one point in the comics he was like a villain, and like he
Mm.
was stuck in some dimension. Like that was those are very interesting things, and I kind of wish we see more of that and help develop both of them as like very multi-layered characters. And that's something that's been kind of missing with Susan Storm, particularly. And yeah, and it doesn't help. Like what is it? Like every main villain likes her. Like Namor
Yeah.
likes is obsessed with her, and then Doctor Doom as well. Like this, like I mean I don't know. It's
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
yeah. Um, and I guess and speaking of Doctor Doom, let's discuss. I think probably the most important thing. You think the Fantastic Four has the best Rose Gallery in the Marvel universe?
it's between them and Spider-Man for sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
Um, yeah, I love Spider-Man's villains. But the Fantastic Four, you got Doctor Doom, you got Galactus, you got Namor, you got the Skrull.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they got
Rose.
some really good ones. Annihilus.
Oh, love that
Yeah.
character. Uh,
Um,
Mole Man. Uh,
hmm
I forget about
Yeah.
that. And who else? Rowan. Cannot forget about him.
Yeah.
Uh, So yeah, uh, yeah, really great Rose Gallery for me. I mean, number one is always Spider Man. You're always right. um, I I will kind of disagree with you. I think X Men has the best villains after Spider Man.
They do have they do have good ones.
Yeah, and the third is Fantastic Four. I'll put that there because they have the
Yeah.
best ones. And
Yeah. I mean, those are definitely the top three.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, they're definitely top tiers. And I guess um it's kind of interesting to look at the Rose Gallery. It's like each of them like represent like the thing we know about Marvel. Like you got Mole Man, who isn't like a Fantastic Four villain. He feels more like an X Men villain. Like he feels like discriminated from the world. He's like a freak. Like he reminds me a lot like the Batman Returns Penguin in that form. And then you got the more cosmic villains, with Galactus, Annihilus, and now Skrulls, and Kree,
hmm
and with Rowan, and then you got the more superficial villains, like Doctor Doom, but with a very unique twist of he bends technology with magic, and then you got Namor being this like Atlantean, you know, from from thousand leagues of the sea, and like that's very imaginative villains that face these characters. And then we got ones that are personal, like Sue's father, and then Puppet Master, who is Alicia Master's father, and he's another character I really like. And yeah, I think they're pretty good. Who else that I really like? Amanaku Man, he's really great. And then I like Claw. He's another major
hmm
character.
hmm
He's both here as a villain for Fantastic Four, but also Black Panther. And yeah, very diverse villains that I like from the Fantastic Four. And is Doctor Doom is your number favorite, as always with Fantastic Four and in general Marvel Universe?
Uh, he's definitely my favorite Fantastic Four villain. Yeah.
Mm.
I wouldn't say he's my favorite Marvel villain, but
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay. Because I'm gonna say to you, when I started this channel, I did not include Doctor Doom in my top 10 favorite villains list
hmm
because I just haven't read too much of the FF comics.
Mm.
And I mean, I I like Doctor Doom. And just also um to add also is like the live action films, and
Hmm.
and unfortunately he hasn't had the best adaptations at all as a villain.
No,
Oh
no, he
my god.
hasn't.
Oh my god, it's so bad. I ugh. And yeah, and then and of course we cannot forget Kane, who's also a FF villain.
Hmm.
And he has finally popped up in the MCU. So hopefully he becomes a villain for the FF MCU film, because that'd be kind of cool to like.
Yeah, he probably will, actually.
Mm, okay, so you think he will probably will?
Yeah,
um,
I just have a feeling he's gonna pop up everywhere,
yeah.
like
Well,
different
hopefully.
versions of him. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Uh, I I know, like, oh my god. You think he'll be the Conqueror that will be in FF, and then the one for Ant-Man 3 will be maybe Ramen Tot, or oh my god.
I I think I said this either last week or the week before, but my current theory is that Kang the Conqueror is the one that's going to show up in all the movies, and then
All the
they're going to
movies.
have
Hmm.
variants of Kang in the TV shows.
Oh my god. Yes. Okay. that that would be actually kind of cool. They do that. That's pretty awesome. And well, and another thing I would say, um, you don't like, um, it kind of like transition into other things. Another thing I like from the Fantastic Four, that I should like them, is they have costumes, but also they have vehicles that are like like akin to Batman. Like they have the Fantastic Car, which I
Hmm.
love. Uh, uh, it's one of the best, and that's the thing I love about the sequel. They include that, and that was actually a really good design.
Mm.
And I also love the Baxter Building. Um,
Yeah, Baxter Building's great.
oh my god, one of the best superhero headquarters. Um, and then what else I like? I like their costumes. I think they have um, probably the best like consistent costume, but one you could
Hmm.
change, and I really like that
Hmm.
about them. What I guess, like from like the 60 years we had with them, what is your favorite costume for the characters? I'm kind of curious.
Um, I don't know if I have like a specific design that's my favorite. I do like when they stick to the like simple original like blue tights with the white around the four logo.
Oh, okay.
Um, trying to, I have like an image of a cover in my head, and I can't. Um, I'm try to look it up. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, what's your favorite version of
Uh,
the costume?
my favorite is the black costumes they
Okay.
have in the cartoons. That was always my favorite from them, and I like how they're like kind of like the Green Lantern costumes, but like it's black and white, and like you
Mm.
see kind of the blue halings. So, uh, and then I also like the two live action costumes, with Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis, because I like their costume there, because I like how they blend the black and blues, and it's very efficient costumes.
Hmm.
Um, and then I guess the other ones that I do like, um, was the Jonathan Hickman costumes they display. Um, and then I guess, and then like the second season of the 90s costumes I like the most. Another one is the Future Foundation costumes. I like those. Um, I like the whites and black. And of course, especially with Spider-Man, I like his costume for the Future Foundation. That's pretty
Hmm.
cool.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then I guess like least favorite is the red ones they were before. Um, just never liked their red costumes they
Yeah,
had.
should be blue.
Yeah, it should be
Yeah.
always blue. I just feel like it just makes more sense to that. And yeah, and then I guess uh, I'm getting to supporting characters because that's also another thing I'm kind of curious. I like their supporting characters, particularly with Alicia Masters. I like the Inhumans. I really like
Yeah.
that.
Uh, I like the Inhumans a lot.
Yes,
Uh,
I like Crystal. Uh, sh-
mm,
she's my favorite human, and then of course we like Black Panther. He came from in this universe, and I guess kind of getting into this, it's kind of crazy. Just you know, the current state of these characters. I was kind of surprised to see how much that we know from Marvel Universe comes from the Fantastic Four.
hmm
Like this is how Black Panther um, came into the universe is by first appearing to the FF comics. Same
hmm
thing with the Inhumans, and then you kind of get the crossovers with the multiple characters from the universe, which is also cool. Like it's kind of like you know weird, but also like like um so informative how much the FF was so important to the Marvel universe, and it's kind of sad they're not like I mean they're back for the comics, but like it's kind of sad they're not like as important as they were before. I
hmm
I I just felt like company corporation just kind of rooted the FF. So I don't know if you have that opinion. So
Yeah.
serious.
I um, it's been a while since they've been like used well.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping with the new movie coming out in a few years, um, they'll like reintroduce them and reinvent them in some way that you know
Yeah.
makes them cool again.
That's true. Um, I agree. And I guess to kind of like wrap things up, and I guess let's kind of get into the medium and like what's your favorite yeah, interpretation of the FF? Ugh.
Um, I guess you mean like outside of comics?
Yeah, like cartoons or even the
Yeah,
live action films.
yeah. I haven't really seen a lot of the cartoons that they appear in.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I think outside of comics, I've only really seen them in those live action movies with Chris Evans and Jessica Alba.
Well,
So just like by default, it's those.
still by default. Oh my God. Okay. Um, I I I cannot. I mean, and I mean to be fair though, I mean it's always like that with every character you're not a fan of, and
Mhm.
so you have to be fair for that. Yeah, I agreed. The Chris Evans is definitely like on point with the characterization of the characters.
Yeah.
Um, I think the Thing and the Human Torch from the first two live action ones are the best,
hmm
and then where I feel like the weakest is always um, Jessica Alba and Iron Golfin, who play Mr. Vertassen. Those are the characters that are kind of like the hardest to depict, and like they're like
Right.
the weakest for me in terms of the
Yeah,
live action films.
I agree with that. I think Chris Evans was just like a great casting choice for the Human Torch, especially like at that stage in his career when he was used to playing like cocky jerks. Um,
Yes,
and
yes,
then Michael Chiklis for Ben was also great, and like I really liked the practical effects they used for the thing.
Hmm. I agree. Impressive. I at the time, and I know you haven't seen the Van Forstic, but the CGI there was pretty good.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it. Just he looks too rocky from what I've seen. Like, and like I know obviously he's supposed to be made of rocks, but he looks like too made of rocks. You know, he looks like Korg more than the thing.
That's true. Yeah, um, it, um, I, I think they were on point with the design. I just feel like they didn't, like, if you look at the comics, the thing is so big. Like he's kind of
Mhm.
like Hulk size,
Right.
and I feel like they didn't do that for that version. And I like his voice. They actually um like did kind of the Batman get the Dark Knight kind of thing with Jimmy Bell's voice. Like they uh enhance it and make it like a deep voice when
Okay.
he's like in the theme form. That was pretty cool. Um, I seen some of the concept art for the Fan Force stick, and some of them were very interesting and like very cool. Um, but I think it's always going to be difficult with like a CGI character, like how big you want this character to be and stuff like that. Um, yeah, and I would say like eh, to kind of piggyback in interpretation, I like the cartoon one from the '90s were very great. Like they were spot on with those characters,
Okay.
and I think they're in the Disney Plus. I highly recommend watching that show. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I'll check it out.
yes, and you have to check out season 2 because
Okay.
especially with the Hulk versus the Thing. Oh
Hmm.
my god, I remember that. It's such a great episode, and like Doom is in it, and this, and I want like I'll just give you like the ending. Like there's like they play up something with the thing, and
Hmm.
it's so melodrama, and it's so funny. It is so. Oh my god, and that episode is great because you see like cameos from every Marvel character. You see the X Men and Spider Man, and it's great. It's that show is amazing. You got She Hulk coming in as well, and she's great. Another interpretation I like is there was another second solo show called Fantastic Four World's Greatest Heroes. That's another one that's good. It's kind of like a moving tie-in. Like it's a comic book universe, FF, but mixed with the live action that was going
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
That's really good too. Um, and I guess can I get into um the thing I guess the thing I'm like really surprised but also puzzling. Why do you think the FF never works in the films?
Um, I don't know, it might be just that like the studio behind it hasn't really like understood what makes them click. You know,
Mm,
like I think the ones from the early 2000s were the closest. Um, but there's like you got to balance the family dynamics with the weird sci-fi stuff with all the like interpersonal drama. Like you really got to focus on the character moments, um, and those movies didn't really do that, even though they like seem to really understand Johnny and Ben.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
and I can't speak to Fan Four Stick, but it doesn't seem like it did that either.
yeah. Speaking of Johnny, he's like the best thing about that film. Like,
Yeah, I've heard that Michael B. Jordan was really good as Johnny Storm.
yeah, he
And
was
I
really.
thought Kate Mara sounded like a good casting choice for Sue as well.
Oh my God, I I I will say this. We mentioned earlier in this podcast about damsel in distress or just being there. You know,
Hmm.
like being a female character. That's what that character is in Fem Force. Like she's just
Okay.
there, and and I'm gonna spoil this because you're not
I'm
gonna
not
see
gonna,
this.
yeah, yeah.
I, um, you can't believe it. Like all four of them, like in the comics, they always go up together and get their powers together, right?
Right.
In this film, they did the ultimate storyline. You know, instead of getting in the cosmic rays, they do it in
Yeah.
ultra.
The negative zone. Or,
Yeah, well, and it was weird. They don't even call it the negative zone. They just call it Planet Zero or something like that.
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
it,
Uh,
it was really awful. Like they didn't use that. Hold on.
everything about that movie sounds like it's a comic book movie that's ashamed of being a comic book movie. It's
Yes.
never a good sign.
No, it was never a good sign. And the thing is, it becomes a superhero generic film towards like the third act,
Right.
and
Just
oh my god, it was really bad. It, it's crazy. Like Sue doesn't go with them when they go to Planet Zero, and like she get her powers by some weird light that comes out when they come back. It because
uh,
she it was so bad, and like she doesn't use her invisible powers; she used her force fields, and
wait,
I
she doesn't turn invisible in the movie?
like you know how like lights flicker on and off, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, apply that to Susan with her invisible powers. That's how they do it. And
She she just like flicks in and out of being visible, or
yeah, it's kind of weird because in that film they're trying to do the body horror, and
right.
like um she does turn invisible with the suit she gets to control her powers, but most of the time we don't use her visible powers as often. So um yeah, very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thing with uh like FemForce, like it felt very pitiful and just they just like Fox did it because they wanted to keep the rights. That was like the main purpose
Yeah.
of FemForce, like,
Yeah.
and where the other two were, yeah, and perfect corporate greedy like story with like every time you hear this, it's just
Mhm.
uh, it's really bad um and I my thing is if like they don't like I was watching the thing about um one YouTuber Patrick H. Williams mentioned this. Like for me, these movies never been ambitious enough with their sci-fi, and
Yeah.
that's something I don't like about these films is that they don't take the sci-fi to as far as capacity at all,
Yeah.
and
And
I just ugh.
yeah, I agree. I think the ones from the early 2000s didn't do that because superhero movies was still like a very specific genre instead of being what it is now, where it's like a setting for different subgenres.
Yes, I
Um,
agree.
the new one though should have been that.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought so. I don't know. You seen the teaser trailer? I thought they were
yeah,
gonna do that.
that's I did see it, and that's why I decided not to see the movie.
Re-
But yeah,
really? Oh my
it
god!
didn't look good.
I like. I don't like the body horror for the Fantastic Four. I think the Fantastic Four should be hard sci-fi film.
Yeah,
Like
it should be like a B movie from the '60s, but like
mm,
played straight and as a superhero thing.
I that's very interesting. I mean I think you could do that. A very meta commentary. You can also do like a very what is it like 2001 or you know uh, the Incredibles kind of level where
Yeah.
it's very thoughtful. And by the way, it's kind of weird that the Incredibles from Pixar are the best versions of,
Basically, yeah.
you know, and they actually got a successful sequel, and I just I cannot believe in this day and age for me that the makeup ones are the best. Oh my god, oh my god, that's so painful for me to see that. Um, yeah. Another thing, um, like that also hurts them is the characterization of the characters. Like I feel like they're the most like tropey, very stereotypical characterization of characters in film, and I feel like that's something that's it's damning these characters to be successful.
Mhm.
Like like it's fine with certain characters like TMNT Team, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mhm.
Like that works for them because they're kids and like you can understand what they are. They got Leo being the series one, Ralph being the series one, and then Don Tunnel being the smart one. Like it works with them, right?
Mhm.
Here, I feel like it doesn't work with the FF. Like, like, I mean, I hope the MCU can like, like, dissolve some of these bad tropes and characterization with these characters and put so many new ones that we haven't seen yet for them. Um, um, I guess I can um like officially wrap up things. I guess we know we're getting a SCU film, soon. Um, and I guess the quick question: are you excited for John Watts being the director of the Fantastic Four? Because I what's your opinion on that?
I mean,
Um,
I really like his Spider-Man movies, and I think that like tone and visual style would work really well with the Fantastic Four.
okay,
Um, so I'm looking forward to it. It
okay.
sounds like you disagree.
I I kind of wish they had. I kind of wish they found a different director that was more exciting. I mean, I wasn't expecting that choice. I was kind of like, oh, okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I do enjoy the Tom Holland films, but they're not my like. I mean, Spider-Man: Homecoming will be top on my Spider-Man list, but like, I I don't think they're like my Spider-Man films. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
despite some of the good stuff they have. Um, but I think he definitely knows how to do characters foremost, which is something I like from the Spider-Man films.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, and I think he handles the actors good, so that gives me confidence.
Yeah.
Um, and I
And
guess,
also, oh, sorry.
oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I know Kevin Feige really likes the Fantastic Four, so I have a feeling that's
Mm,
going to be his new like pet project that he monitors more closely, um, which means
that,
it'll probably be good.
that's true. Oh, that's true. Same thing with X-Men. I mean
Yeah.
that'll be close as well. Um, yeah, I hope so. And I guess, I mean, villains. I guess, like, I don't want Doctor Doom at all in the first film. Save
No.
that for the sequel.
Okay.
And I like that Kane is in this universe now. I
Hmm.
hope he will be the main villain. That makes sense. And I guess the question is, do you think instead of Kane being the main villain, do you think there's someone else they're going to use him and use as a villain for the first film?
Maybe. I hope they do something like cosmic. I hope they do like
Yeah.
Annihilus or something.
Yeah. I have.
But
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I got two. The one you say, Annihilus, I think that'll be second choice, and then number one could be Molecule Man. I feel like
okay.
because it feels like we're heading towards the sequel wars, and I feel like Molecule Man be the first makes sense if you're saying that sequel wars event. for the MCU. Um, the one that is in 2015, not the old classic one.
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought that'd be good, and if not, then I think Kane will be the obvious choice because like he's the well-known one, so people have her now.
Mhm.
So I guess to kind of any thoughts you want to say, Will, that you haven't talked yet, you want to bring up right now?
I guess I just wanted to like emphasize the importance of the Fantastic Four to like the history of Marvel Comics.
Yes.
Um, 'Cause they were like, I guess Marvel was like really struggling around the time that the Fantastic Four came out. I think, um, and I might be misremembering this, but I think Stan Lee was like kind of getting ready to leave, and his wife was like, "Well, why don't you write something that's
That
like
you want.
that you want, that's
Yeah.
like different, and you don't have to think about what will sell. It's just whatever you want to do." And he took that and internalized it and thought like, I want superheroes, but they are like real like fleshed out characters that bicker and have flaws, and they feel more like a family than just like a group of perfect humans. um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then he like wrote that with Jack Kirby, and then it sold really well. It kind of saved the company, and kind of changed how superheroes are written because they created that like family dynamic and really fleshed out um, characters in a genre where the characters tended to be pretty like one or two dimensional.
Yeah. I agree. Um, yeah, and I think it's important to emphasize like they're the ones that brought the actual like realistic and like grit to like um of what was going on, and I feel like that's something that DC always wants to copy, and yeah, and it helped to bring in like very relatable characters to the comics, and like and it also push story methods that we haven't seen in comics, like long-term story arcs, like the Galactus trilogy. That was something that was very important. Setting up something that you don't know what's going to happen next, like the Inhumans, like they set them very early on.
Mhm.
Like Medusa was in the Fatal Four, and we didn't know who was that character until we get more into the character's background in the comics, and like that's something um, we don't see as often. And then also it's like expanding the universe. That's another thing. Like I mentioned Black Panther, like
Mhm.
FF was so important to Marvel because they were like the top tier books, and like if they wanted to introduce a new idea or like character, that was the book you do it, and like and they will spawn off because they were in this one book that was successful. You know, so that's how Black Panther was successful. That's how um, Inhumans was successful.
Mhm.
Um, and then I'm trying to think what else other characters. And then if there was example of characters that they didn't have their solo books that they got canceled, they go either to the Avengers or FF, and Hulk was that example. Like Hulk in the 60s was like his book didn't last long. He went into the FF at one time, and then he became a member of the Avengers. So that's the thing. And like major writers came from FF as well, that are also well known and important the comic book industry. Like John Byrne came. I think he came before he did the Superman Man of Steel reboot in the 80s. He
Mhm.
did first Fantastic Four, and like that was successful. Peter David did the Fantastic Four before he did like Aquaman and the Hulk series. that's well known. So very important um, comic, and it's just kind of sad that you know when they stopped producing the books in 2015, right? And it left a hole of like the Marvel universe that I like, and like it didn't look the same after they were not in the books. I mean, they were in teams, but like just not having the FF book around just didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy it's back, but like it doesn't. It, everything now is like everyone knows every character in Marvel universe. So Guardians is like the main cosmic team, and FF was that. It's just weird. Yeah. It's good you mentioned that, Will, because Marvel is like you hear the term for like Freddy Krueger, how this is the house that Freddy was built for New Life Cinema. That's how you applied that to FF to Marvel. Yeah. Anything else we need to cover? That's all you have to say. Well.
Yeah, I think that's it from me.
All right. That's same as well for me as well. I'm pretty much good to go. Thank you everyone to listen to this podcast. Me and will have a little break for next week. But no worry, I'll hopefully get a guest to help me do another podcast and topic. No worry, me and will be back for 2 weeks, right? Like in 2 weeks to do another podcast. I think no. What If is coming in August 11th, so we'll have one more like on topic Marvel thing, and then we'll start again for the TV Weekly series with What If, which is exciting.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, it's crazy. Thank you, Will, for coming today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep, it was a fun talk. All right, bye everyone. Have a nice day, and hit the subscribe button, and see you guys soon.